Hey there, it's Brittany, and I'm back today with a Lariat tutorial using some Jesse James Beads products. I wanted to use this metal tassel, and I love how big it is. I love larger tassels, and some of this beautiful circular chain, and it's almost got like a matte quality to it. And then we're going to also be using two sizes of thunder polish beads. So I have the silver in the, I think it's 1mm size. Yes, 1mm. Can you see how tiny they are? Aren't they cute? And this is 13 inches per strand. And then I also have the 3x2mm. So I'm going to be using 3 strands of these beads. So the necklace is going to be pretty long. And it's going to be very easy to create. I'm super excited about it. I have some Beadalon bead stringing wire. That's what I'm using today. And really, I'm just going to pile on the thunder polish beads. So on either side of the necklace, I'm going to use 1 strand of this, and then the back of the necklace will have 1 strand of the larger beads. So it'll look like flowing silver down into our Lariat piece. I am just going to start by cutting off a piece of our chain. So this one's already been cut right there, but I think the next one is soldered closed, and that's what I want for this necklace. So I'm just going to take this one off. I can use this in another project, and then I will snip the next piece up. I don't think it, maybe it's open. No, it's not open. So I'll snip this one. And then I will take off that ring. Okay, so there are 2 ways that you can connect your beads to your chain piece, and there are so many different ways to do lariats, and I'm really excited. I'm just going to do one of the more simple ways today. Actually, I cut open the larger one and I need to cut the smaller one. So there are 2 ways to connect your crystals to your ring, and there are tons of different ways to do lariat necklaces. Today we're going to do the style that has the tassel come through the ring to be the closure. I'm going to take my wire and I am going to thread on all of my fire polish beads, starting with the small, going into the large, and then coming back into the small again. All of my beads, except for these little few right here, have been strung onto my bead stringing wire, and it did take a while. You will want to have some time, maybe put on a video or 2. I ended up putting on my brace because pinching all those little beads can put some strain on your thumb joint. But I got it done, and it looks so sparkly and just absolutely stunning. So there are so many different ways you can attach your bead stringing wire to your loop. And today I'm going to use, I'm not going to just crimp it. I will crimp, but I'm not going to crimp it onto a jump ring. I am just going to use the beads themselves to make a loop. And I'll explain what I mean by showing you. So I'm going to find the end of my bead stringing wire. I'm going to put on a crimp bead, and these are Beadalon crimp beads. And then I am going to put on the rest of my crystals that I had set aside. And as a tip, I would leave the crystals on the strand and string them onto your beads like that. So I left them on the strand and then kind of used the bead string wire as a needle to collect the beads. Went much more quickly than doing it each bead individually like I'm doing right now. So I have my beads strung, and then I'm going to find where I put that crimp bead. So it's right there. I'm going to take my loop, or my circle, and I am going to come back up around the loop and those beads, and then come through my crimp bead. Okay, and then we're going to get that as tight as possible creating a loop, just like that. And we want to make sure that the loop, the circle doesn't settle in between any of these beads to create a place where it gets stuck. We want this to be very taut before we let the crimp go. So I'm going to slide that down as much as possible. And you will see that they're going to have two different beads that vie for attention up against that crimp bead. You're just going to try and make it as close as possible. The issue is I'm not going to be able to find a bead that's even smaller than these. So it's totally fine. You can do a flat crimp here or a folded crimp. I'm going to try and do a folded crimp. I'm just going to take my crimping pliers, put that bead in the deepest valley, and then smush. And it's tight enough. And then I'm going to turn it 90 degrees and go up our pliers. I did get out a crimp cover because that crimp is a little bit different color. And then go ahead and close it around. And now it just looks like a bead. It does not look like a crimp hanging out. There we go. And then I will slide down all of my other beads. This is a very long necklace. Slide them all down. And I'm going to have to actually cut the extra tail right at the crimp bead because this wire will not go through twice through one of the crystals. And I actually should have cut it before I put the crimp cover on, but we're okay. We'll make sure we do that on the other side. So I'm going to cut off the other side from my spool. And I am going to crimp right on to our tassel. I could get a jump ring. I'm not going to do this same closure because it's a little bit smaller on the other side. Although we probably could make it. Let's see if we can make it. We will go ahead and slide on our crimp bead. Put our beads back on. And then we'll go ahead and come through the tassel. Run back through our crimp. And I think it will work. So I'm just going to make sure that we tighten the rest of the necklace. And it's definitely loosey-goosey because it's super long. You want to make sure it's loosey-goosey while we're doing that. See, the worry I have here is we want to make sure that the tassel isn't resting in between any beads in particularly. So I'm going to try and tighten this while having the tassel not hang from the loop. I hope that makes sense. Just make sure there aren't any gaps on our necklace. And I'm not seeing any. Okay, and I will go ahead and snip that before I put on the crimp cover this time. And there we go. And we have a gorgeous but simple statement necklace using some beautiful thunder polish beads and components from Jessie James Beads. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you try this necklace out yourself. You can actually double it around your neck because it's so long, and then you just put the tassel through the loop, and that's how it stays suspended. I hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know what you think. Have a good day. Bye-bye.